You've escaped what would normally be a very practical evening of maths in year 2. So I hope you'll follow along with what we're doing without the actual practical side of the maths. This evening, these are our aims of what I'm going to talk you through this evening. So I'm going to give you an insight into how maths is taught at St Mary's. We're going to have a look at some different methods of learning. And then we're going to look at some particular pictorial methods of learning, so some picture models that we use called a bar model and a part-whole model that help children with their calculations. Then we're going to have a little look into addition and subtraction written methods. And we're going to talk about some mental strategies. And then we're going to have a little chat about where we're aiming for these children to get to. So looking at what the children will need to be able to do and where we hope they will be at the end of Key Stage 1. And then finally, we're going to take home some ideas of how you can support your children throughout this year in year 2 with their mathematics. So just to begin, a little bit about the primary maths curriculum. So children should, by the end of, throughout doing their mathematics, we all want them to become fluent in mathematics. So we want them to have lots of practice and lots of different ways of practicing doing mathematics in the classroom so that they become increasingly more able at just knowing maths fluently, so they can give you numbers straight away and they can work out calculations fluently. Alongside that, we also look at questioning children about their mathematics. So we look at their reasoning, working out questions, asking them how they know that, talking about their mathematics. So it might be working on an inquiry question that then asks the children to find all the possibilities. So they're not just answering a list of questions one after the other, they're actually looking at exploring the concept that they've learned and finding all the possibilities that fit that concept. Another part we look at is solving problems. So applying what they've learned in the fluent side of the concept to actually putting that into a problem. And this is the sticky bit that children often get to. They can work out addition sums, subtraction sums, but as soon as you put that into a word problem, they're flummoxed and they're lost as to what calculation they need to do and how to do that. So throughout our mathematics, each day and each topic that we do, we follow those 3 different ways of learning. So becoming fluent in a concept that we've introduced, talking about and reasoning it, justifying why they believe that answer is right or why they believe that answer is wrong, and then solving problems with their mathematics with that concept as well. Throughout mathematics at St Mary's, we've also have 3 ways in which the children learn. So whenever you walk into a maths lesson, you will always see mathematical equipment being used. So this is the concrete way of learning. So the children use that equipment to practically do mathematics. So that might be using a piece of equipment called Numicon, which they've been introduced to in reception class and we use all the way through to year 6. Or another equipment we use called base 10 or Deans. That's you probably remember from when you're at school, those sticks of 10 and the little number, the ones. Counters, objects, shapes, bead strings, anything practically that can help them see mathematics happening. We then move on to pictorial way of learning. So actually drawing a picture of what the maths is asking us. And it might be a simple picture. If they were drawing 5 apples, add 2 apples equals 7 apples, they would literally draw the apples and add them all together. Or we use 2 models called a part-whole and a bar model, which I'll come on to a little bit later in the presentation, that can help them to unpick what the question is asking them to do. And finally, we look for abstract mathematics, that is using written and mental methods to solve the calculations. So column addition, column subtraction, actually lining the sums up, just basic times tables, seeing that calculation written down as, for example, 3 times 4 equals 12, and likewise with division facts. And all the way through our learning, we follow that procedure from concrete to pictorial, and ultimately we want all children to be able to be abstract learners. But lots of children, if you just put a calculation in front of them that's abstract, they don't understand what they're doing with that calculation because they'll have missed out working Here's just an example of some of the mathematical equipment you will find in the classrooms all throughout the school. So this one here is our Numicon, those different numbers represented